Introduction to the Nigerian Civil War. In July 1967, a conflict ignited in Nigeria that would reshape the nation's history. Known as the Nigerian Civil War or the Biafra War, it was a struggle that brought suffering and resilience into sharp relief. This is the story of a people divided by colonial borders, united by struggle, and forever changed by war. The roots of conflict stretch deep into Nigeria's past, back to when it was a mosaic of distinct kingdoms and ethnic groups, arbitrarily united by colonial rule. The discovery of vast oil reserves further complicated these divisions, sowing seeds of discord among the people. By the mid-1960s, ethnic tensions and economic disparities led the eastern region, predominantly Igbo, to feel marginalized. The 1966 coups further inflamed these tensions, resulting in profound distrust and fear among the Igbos, who faced increasing hostility in the north. On May 30, 1967, Lieutenant Colonel Odumegwu Ojukwu declared the independence of the Republic of Biafra, setting the stage for conflict. This bold step was met with mixed emotions: hope for some, dismay for others, and a determined opposition from the Nigerian government. War erupted in July 1967 when Nigerian forces launched a full-scale invasion into Biafra. The initial battles were marked by significant advances by federal troops, but the Biafrans demonstrated remarkable resistance, utilizing ingenious strategies and forming a deep sense of nationalism. As the conflict deepened, the international community took notice. Nations divided in their support, with some backing the Nigerian government and others sympathizing with Biafra's plight. The involvement of foreign powers added layers of complexity to the war. Inside Biafra, life was marked by hardship and resilience. Despite being surrounded and economically blockaded, Biafrans innovated to survive, creating makeshift refineries and relying heavily on local farming to combat food shortages. By 1968, the war reached a turning point. Nigerian forces captured several strategic Biafran cities, cutting off key supply routes. The blockade intensified, leading to severe famine and humanitarian distress across Biafra. Media and propaganda played critical roles in the war. Both sides used media to garner support, shape international opinion, and rally their citizens. The stark images of suffering were particularly powerful in influencing public perception worldwide. As the war dragged on, millions were displaced from their homes, creating a massive refugee crisis. Camps were set up across Biafra and neighboring countries, but they were often inadequate to meet the overwhelming needs. Amid the devastation, international aid began to pour into Biafra, spearheaded by organizations like the Red Cross and Caritas. However, the effectiveness of these efforts was often hampered by political constraints and logistical challenges. The conflict also saw significant aerial engagements. The Nigerian Air Force, with foreign pilot assistance, conducted bombing raids over Biafran territories, aiming to cripple the resistance and cut off their supplies. Throughout the war, several attempts were made to negotiate peace. African nations and global powers convened multiple peace talks, but these efforts repeatedly failed, often due to irreconcilable demands from both sides. Women and children bore the brunt of the war's horrors. Many became heads of households, with men gone to fight, and children often had to grow up much too fast, facing realities far beyond their years. Oil, newly discovered in the Niger Delta, became a curse and a prize during the war. Control over these rich resources was a strategic objective for both sides, influencing the intensity and duration of the conflict. The war economy transformed both Nigeria and Biafra. In Biafra, scarcity led to innovation, while Nigeria faced the challenge of financing a prolonged military campaign. The global media played a crucial role in shaping international perceptions of the war. Graphic images and reports brought the plight of Biafrans to the world stage, igniting a global response. By early 1970, the realities of war and diminishing resources led Biafra to the brink. The leadership, facing inevitable defeat, began considering surrender to save their people from further suffering. To see more of this videos, kindly subscribe, like, and follow.